100 feet in the air, the swaying tips of pine trees greet the dawn light of North Louisiana. One of the most commercially important trees in the United States, these fast-growing southern yellow pines are part of an environmentally sustainable tree farm, one of hundreds of thousands across the Southeast. Soon these trees will be harvested and trucked to Graphic Packaging International in West Monroe. There, along the banks of the Ouachita River, these giants of the forest will undergo an amazing metamorphosis. In a chemical and mechanical process perfected over the last 2 centuries, one of nature's most plentiful and renewable resources will be converted into one of the world's most recognizable commodities: paper. The paperboard manufactured at Graphic Packaging's West Monroe facility is used to box foods, beverages, and thousands of other consumer products. Graphic Packaging is one of the leading producers of paper packaging materials, and its West Monroe mill is the largest in its worldwide operation. This modern and efficient facility has an around-the-clock workforce of over 700 full-time employees. The paper-making process starts in the Woodyard. There, 2 150-foot radius cranes lift the logs off arriving trucks and drop them into the jaws of a 200-foot-long machine. Woodmill team leader Ricky Nolan describes the process.
After the chips come in on the truck, we actually remove them and put them in like a machine called a debarking drum. And after the bark has been removed from the tree, goes directly to the chipper that cuts that thing into 1-inch chip just like this in just a few seconds.
About 7,000 tons of chips are used every day in the mill. A 600-yard-long conveyor belt moves the chips from the Woodyard to the next phase of their journey. A facility of this size has enormous power requirements, the equivalent of a large town that you'd see in Louisiana. Graphic Packaging generates most of the electricity it needs using 2 steam-powered turbines and a 3rd natural gas turbine. The steam turbines are fueled in part by the bark, waste wood, and sawdust collected in the Woodyard. Lamar Spencer, a power boiler operator that oversees operations at the site's power plant, explains why that's important.
We generate electricity here kind of different than what the public utility does. Public utilities use a lot of coal in their process, which is an environmental issue. In our process, we use natural gas and waste products coming from our wood pulping process. This lowers our costs because it's a waste product that will not be going into the environment. So we get a 2-for-1 situation going.
The enormous amounts of steam and electricity generated on site are used throughout the paper-making process. The first step in converting the chipped wood into containerboard happens at the pulp mill. Here, wood chips are conveyed to a continuous digester. Each digester is a pressurized vessel, 155 feet in height and 35 feet in diameter. As the wood chips are moved through the digester, they are transformed into a soft cellulose pulp. Craft operator A, Randy Wheelis, explains how this transformation takes place.
What makes the wood stiff is an organic substance called lignin. The chips are immersed in steam and a chemical called white liquor. This releases the lignin and separates the individual wood fibers. This is essentially a huge pressure cooker that is the critical first step to making sure we have a quality material for our paperboard.
Wood fibers are very small, about 4 millimeters in length and 35 microns in diameter, a third the diameter of a human hair. Every 100 pounds of wood chips that enter the digester produces about 45 pounds of wood pulp. The pulp is further cleaned, refined, and then stored in large tanks before continuing its journey. Part of what makes the modern pulping process so important is the way chemical byproducts from the procedure are recycled and reused. Lavelle Shaw and Olivia Fortenberry work in recovery and caustic, 2 departments that play a vital role in the plant operations.
In recovery, we collect waste from the digesters, and we actually burn in our recovery boilers to generate electricity for the mill.
What remains after the waste is burned can then be chemically treated and converted back into the white liquor that is used in the digesters.
It is the efficiency of this process that has made paper a more affordable commodity.
A second source of raw material that helps reduce the cost of modern paper production is recycled paper. The paper recycled at the West Monroe Mill consists of leftover clippings from our converting facility, as well as rejected stock that doesn't meet our customers' exacting standards. Elbert Woods is a Seabrook A helper in the recycle department, and he processes the recycled material that comes through the plant.
The recycled carton paper, we drop it into what's essentially a huge blender. The blender then grinds up the paper, and we prepare it for the paper machines. Every year we produce about 130,000 tons of paper, and it feels good knowing that we're playing a part in the environment.
This volume of recycled material is equivalent to nearly 10 million cubic feet of landfill space saved each year. If all of this material were converted to standard office paper and laid side by side, it would cover over 1,000 square miles. Whether the raw material is wood chips or recycled containerboard, the paper-making process uses a lot of water, 19 to 20 million gallons per day. Graphic Packaging is committed to minimizing the environmental impact of our operations and to keeping water conservation a priority. About 85% of the water used at the mill is recycled. In addition, Graphic Packaging uses treated wastewater from the city of West Monroe that has been processed and cleaned to drinking water standards. All of this dramatically reduces our impact on the local aquifer. The prepared pulp is now ready for the paper machines. The West Monroe Mill has 3 machines running in nearly continuous operation. One makes the corrugated paperboard for cardboard boxes. The remaining 2 make the coated paperboard for consumer packaging. Together, these 3 marvels of technology produce 2,800 tons per day. Only 6 days' production would create enough paper to stretch from our mill in West Monroe, Louisiana, to our facility in Germany. Through a process of extraction, compression, and drying, water is removed from the pulp mixture, and the cellulose fibers are bound together to form a continuous sheet of paper. Randy Garr, a refiner operator on Machine 6, describes the process.
The wet pulp, it enters the machine. It's 99% water by weight. Through gravity and suction, the water is removed. The pulp that remains goes through a series of rollers and dryers to produce a continuous sheet of paper.
The paper then receives a bright white coating that makes it suitable for high-quality printing. This coating is a critical part of the manufacturing process that requires exacting levels of quality and uniformity. Cheryl Smiley is a chemist in the quality lab at the West Monroe Mill. This lab is responsible for testing every roll of paper that comes off the line.
The product that we make, our customers don't just use it for packaging, they use it for advertisement also to their customers. So with our coating and our board, it needs to be as perfect as it can so they can make a good impression with our customers.
Just 3 minutes after entering the machine as wet pulp, the finished container board is wound onto an 18-foot long steel spool. As each spool is filled, the paper sheet is cut, and the leading edge of the new sheet is threaded onto a second spool without stopping the process. The enormous paper reel, weighing as much as 30 tons, is removed and cut into smaller rolls according to customer specifications. Shipping and tracking each of those rolls is a huge logistical challenge. In the shipping department, Graphic Packaging employees, like finishing operator Shannon Walker, use attention to detail and operational experience to ensure each clay-coated paper roll is properly labeled, loaded, and shipped to the correct destination.
We process over 1,400 rolls daily that are shipped worldwide by rail, boat, and truck. It's a complex operation, but my co-workers and I work hard to make sure each roll reaches its destination. We are the last line of defense.
It is this teamwork throughout the plant that allows Graphic Packaging in West Monroe to create the finest paperboard in the world. Our employees come from diverse backgrounds and bring together expertise in manufacturing, engineering, and fabrication. While diverse, they all share a common commitment to excellence. Excellence that is built on a record of safety and environmental responsibility, on providing our customers with the best possible product, and to constant innovation within our industry. We are Graphic Packaging, inspired packaging, a world of difference.